Ohio State has found a replacement for cornerbacks coach Kerry Coombs, and it is a familiar face. Taver Johnson, who coached the Buckeyes corners under both Jim Tressel and Luke Fickell, is returning to Columbus to take over that position again. Johnson spent last season as the defensive coordinator at Temple. He has also spent some time at Arkansas since leaving Columbus. While we're on the topic of the Buckeyes, we welcome in BTN's Glenn Mason from our studio in Minneapolis. And Mace, we've been discussing off-season assignments on this show for a number of different Big Ten teams. So you get the honors with Ohio State. What are the assignments here for Urban Meyer?
Well, Ohio State, everybody says, Dave, all they have to do is just reload, and it's not quite that simple. You know, first and foremost, I would say leadership. Now, they've had great leadership from their players at Ohio State, but when you think of departing class last year, they had 7 fifth-year seniors that included J.T. Barrett. And, you know, when you think about all the times that Urban Meyer talked about J.T. Barrett, the first thing he talked about was leadership, you know, and to think that all of a sudden those type of players and leaders leave a team that they can pick up where they left off, you know, not so fast. You know, the second thing is quarterback, thinking about J.T. Barrett. It's been a foregone conclusion in years past. J.T. Barrett, that holds so many records at Ohio State, well, he's gone now. Now, they've got talent. They've got a lot of talent. Dwayne Haskins, Joe Burrow, Tate Martell, a lot of talent there, but I think it's in their best interest as they proceed through the winter and through spring practice that they come out with a definitive #1 quarterback. And then last, defensive line. And I'm sure a lot of people are saying defensive line, they got all kinds of players. You're right. They've got good depth there. But when you think about the players, Dave, that they lost through graduation in the defensive line and the couple guys that left early to go to the National Football League, I'm sure they're going to try to be able to develop that depth on the defensive line that no one else has had, that's really led to the success that they've had on defense.
Yeah, 3 of their top 4 defensive ends are gone, for example. But, of course, the one they bring back is Nick Bosa. He's pretty good. The good news for Ohio State, 3 of the first 4 teams they play next year did not make a bowl game last season, so a chance to kind of ease into the schedule, maybe a little bit more so than in recent years. Let's change gears, focus on where you are right now, Minnesota. And the Gophers clearly have some work to do. They were 5-7 in year 1 under P.J. Fleck. Really fell apart after a solid start. Finished 123rd in the nation in total offense. Had a ton of trouble throwing the ball. They did recruit well, as you can see, the 31st ranked class in the country. But Mace, what are the offseason assignments for P.J.'s Gophers?
Well, poor P.J., he's got a lot of offseason assignments, but I'm going to just focus on the offensive ones. You know, all the statistics that you quoted right there, and you think about the final 2 games losing 70-0, you got to start with quarterback. And, you know, I talked about Ohio State. They have a lot of talent there. I'm just not sure about the Gophers. Connor Rhoda, who, you know, started off as a starter last year, he's gone. He's used up all his eligibility. Demery Croft, who took over for him, has decided to transfer. They've got a junior college player coming on, Vic Diamandis, who started out at Cal, then went to Riverside Community College. Well, he's coming in, but I'm going to tell you, he's got his work cut out for him, and if he's not the guy, I'm not sure which way they'd go. Along with that is the offensive line, the best friend of any quarterback, Vic, I got to tell you that. Well, a year ago, the Gophers just weren't very good, and they had significant depth problems. Well, they brought in a bunch of guys. Dave, big guys. They've got a 400-pounder. They got a 370-pounder. They got a couple other 300-pounders. But, you know, as I've always said, B-I-G doesn't spell good. So hopefully that these guys will turn out to be pretty good. But at least they've got some numbers, size, and depth to work with. And last but not least is the wide receiver position. They've got Tyler Johnson coming back that I really think is a legitimate Big Ten wide receiver. Other than that, I'm not sure. Demetrius Douglas, who was a freshman last year, showed some real promise, but then had some injuries. And let's not forget, they've got to improve that passing game. Statistically last year, they scored 9 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. You're not going to win very many games doing that.
No, it's amazing, too. I mean, you get past Johnson, they don't have a single receiver returning last year who had more than 132 receiving yards from last season. I mean, that's just incredible to believe what a void that position is outside of him. All right, Glenn Mason, great stuff as always. Thanks for taking the time, Mason. We'll talk to you soon.
Great. Thank you.